He's suddenly, not suddenly, for quite some time now, right? He
Yeah.
seems as if the handlers have totally changed.
हाँ, is it? मैं तो देखता भी नहीं यार अब सहवाग के tweets.
नहीं देखने अभी it just jumped out, uh,
Yeah,
there was
just
no
one
way
second. I'm
to
going to tweet the YouTube link as well.
sure.
I know some people may already be watching us.
Yeah, don't watch us. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Is the stream working? Did you check?
wait. I gotta. Uh, oh, let me just check that. Now that you say, I gotta opening it. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are 45 people on, and yeah, I think we better start
Yeah,
talking,
one
man.
second. Yeah,
It's really
hang
taking
on, guys.
people.
Hang on, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be in there in a moment. We're just about to tweet another link, and pretty much Twitter is it for us, right? So we got to get everything out there, and by the time we get there, we'll be telling you about the show, which we've got a name for finally.
Yeah.
uh, I think I should just get out
Yeah,
with
keep
the
keep
name of
yapping.
yeah,
Keep yapping
yeah,
first.
exactly. I got it. So yeah, so after yesterday's game, we decided we should have a name for the show, and we've decided to call it "Don't Question." Who shouldn't we question? Just think about that. Don't question Tewatia. So that's the name of the show, and everything that we do from now on, right through the IPL, will be about Tewatia. He is the gold standard, the benchmark, everything that we say we will go about. And yeah,
Yeah. So I am going to post the YouTube link in 1 second, and
great.
then
Yeah,
we'll
and
be ready to go
we're just
live.
going to dive into today's game in a moment, and because you guys on Twitter are already there, and we're going to be there with the super over. But before that, we will try and bridge that gap between what happened from a start, which wasn't just right, to winning the game, to the Tewatia moment of the day, as we call it, and who exactly was the Tewatia of the day. And as I said earlier, this is something which we hope will define the IPL streaming that we do for the rest of the tournament, because we realize we must have standards which fluctuate. And I think Tewatia gave us that there were standards which no one really signed up for or thought that they really were there. So they went from way down there to way up there. And yeah, so I'm just gonna. Uh, I think Rajesh has just
Yeah.
tweeted, and we're getting on to YouTube as well. So guys, hop in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I think we are
yeah,
live on
right.
YouTube.
Yeah,
It took me some time, but
yeah, we're live many times over now.
yeah.
So there are
Gaurav,
people
one final time.
who've totally
What's
abandoned
the name of
ship.
the show? What's the name of the show? One final time for my
Yes,
benefit.
the name of one. Yeah, even I forget. So because yesterday's game seems so far away, but don't question Tewatia is the name of this show, and that is what we're going to adhere to and feel that his lofty standards can be ours, and his fluctuating standards can be ours. Yeah. So
Yeah.
from Tewatia, let's go right into today's game. And what did you make of the super over batting that Mumbai Indians picked? Because I thought it was dodgy. I won't put Pollard against pace, and we knew Virat Kohli can do many things wrong, but he wasn't going to be putting a leg spinner
Yeah.
to be sacrificed to Pollard again. So what is the reason? It's
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. They just went with the guts. I think Pollard was there at the end, and I wouldn't necessarily, call them out because he was hitting the ball. The player is warm. Someone else
yeah,
coming from the bench may need some time to get set. It wasn't such
sure,
a bad call. Of course, a more classy batsman like Rohit. He can find more. I mean, he has more range of shot. He can run it down to third man, find different areas of the ground against a bowler of the quality of Saini who can really nail those Yorkers. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
and I said that when the Super Over started, for me it was a showdown
Yes.
between Saini and Bumrah, and I think the better
Yeah.
bowler on the day won it actually. So the deal with Saini
Sure.
is right.
Definitely. It was very tight, but
Yeah,
yeah.
very very tight. I mean, so Bumrah bowled those three bouncers, which was a risky strategy. I mean, and probably that shows that Bumrah is not as
Yeah.
confident of his Yorker right now, and he missed it ever so slightly against Kohli. Although you wouldn't call it a miss because if the field scored a boundary there. But the thing with Saini, right, and he nails those Yorkers, and from that height, right, if he just gets it right, he's at pace. He's one of those bowlers who will, even if he misses it by a bit, like even if it's a low full toss, I think batsmen will find it hard to get him away. I used to hear, and I have not seen a lot of footage of Joel Garner, but I've seen a lot of, batsmen talking about how difficult it was to hit a Joel Garner Yorker, and he was very accurate with his Yorker. So, I mean,
Right.
all this talk about, I had a mention on my Twitter, somebody saying, are we not producing any quality bowlers anymore who would defend runs in the death over?
Yeah.
And I've been saying this for a while. The next revolution for bowlers in cricket is going to be real pace. A lot of bowlers bowling 95 miles per hour, six balls and over, good Yorkers. Let's see how many people can hit that. Forget about the pitch, take pitch out of the equation. I
Sure.
wrote a piece sometime back, and it was about
Yeah.
baseball. And
Yeah.
in baseball, every progressing year, the runs have gone down. And the reason for it being
Okay.
a lot of pitchers in baseball now bowl a 100-mile plus pitch. It's very
Sure.
difficult to hit a pitcher who can bowl 100-mile plus, and that is with more fitness, with better coaching, with better techniques, a lot of bowlers can come in and start bowling at 95, especially in T20. Forget about test cricket. Obviously you won't
Yeah,
expect
yeah.
a bowler to run in all day
Yeah.
and bowl at 95. So that's the revolution in next 10 years I'm waiting for. There will be nurseries where teams will start producing 95 miles per hour bowler, super fit, extreme athletes who can bowl six balls in that Yorker length. And Navdeep,
Yeah.
I think is one step towards it. He's super fit, by the way. Did you see some of his videos he was posting during the lockdown? He posts a lot of his gym videos, workout videos, right? He is super fit. You
Sure,
see
sure.
him without a shirt on. He's
Yeah.
not just
Yeah, yeah.
an accurate bowler.
Yeah.
He's a super fit kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
is what I wanted
So
to see. I got
kind of-
that.
Yeah. So I've been fortunate, in Delhi, there's the Seafort Sports Complex, which Madan Lal runs the cricketing academy there. And a lot of Delhi cricketers or those who are from the vicinity, they come and bowl there in the nets. You'll see a lot of Delhi cricketers doing that. So a few times I've been fortunate to watch Saini bowling there. And it is a streamlined action. It's extremely easy. You see him run. There is great ease in his run up, and everything seems to flow. So watching him bowl from close quarters, a few deliveries, I could tell that here was a guy who wasn't, for one, doing anything more than what a net should be. So he wasn't trying to smash the net batsman. He
Yeah.
was trying to warm up and get a net. So I saw a bit of continuity in each delivery that he bowled. I was just looking on, the sighting of Saini, in fact, I said, hey, who's this guy who's wearing an India shirt? Now, the blue India t-shirt, it's you might have kids who pick it up off the store or something, but obviously this guy was not a kid, and I went a little closer, and when I could and the first thing that I did was, I got to up the pace and I got to smash the guy at the other side. And the fitness definitely hits you. And we've seen enough of Saini now and debated also that has he been given enough chances? I mean, that is going back. And which again leads us to, I guess, the quandary which Indian cricket is, where they do take their time over a showdown. Like you put out there on Twitter, between Bumrah and him, it's
Yeah.
pretty much fair and square. And you see, it was pretty close, but you just saw, I guess, the smarts that this guy had, and he does seem pretty damn intense. I mean,
Yeah.
you see all
Yeah,
that
yeah, exactly,
also.
exactly. The intensity,
Obviously,
the intensity
Bumrah,
hits you.
yeah,
It's not just the bowling action and you
yeah,
know
it
where he
does.
puts the ball, the intensity
No,
hits you.
it is. Yeah, it's there on the face,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
see it on Saini, and it's really good because I think within RCB versus MI, it's really thrown this this tasty lead for us to see the
yeah,
two main bowlers that should be there bowling for India. And yes, there have been a lot of questions, I think, that people are asking about Bumrah's fitness, that he has come back after an injury, and yes, it is a few games. But what I'd like to get back again is to our preoccupation with Tewatia, and we shouldn't abandon it because we're riding so much on him
yeah.
that I did feel that after all the various guys that we saw, who the Tewatia of the match was. Who did you think,
I
seeing
mean,
the whole game?
so it will take me another day to probably decide and run all those mental
I
algorithms to
yeah.
figure out. But you know, Tewatia of the day has to be Saini. I mean, after that super over, I mean, oh,
But he did well even before that. So you know who I
ah,
thought. So
okay,
I thought for me the Tewatia of the day was Kohli, because he had such a struggle to begin with.
yeah.
And I know we all had. I remember your tweet also saying that he would have been, but he didn't finish it up or something like that. And but he did finish it. I mean, because these
Yeah,
games
yeah.
seem to. I mean, they go into another groove and something else happens. So
So,
he
so, so
finally
he,
played
he
the way.
saved his Tewatia mode. He didn't waste it in the normal play. He saved his
Exactly.
Tewatia mode
Yeah.
for the extra time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And who saw
great
that? I
thinking.
mean, yeah. I mean, he's a guy. I think he's been and that shot was something. I mean, it just went. It came off his bat differently. I mean, it was there for Kohli to be yorked,
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
leg before anything could have happened,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And I you know uh, my mother who's pretty fixated with the cricket. She
Mm-hmm.
suddenly calls me in the. She's been very critical about Virat Kohli's form and stuff, but today she told me she was feeling bad for him, and
Mm-hmm.
I really wondered what this इतना बेचारा हो गया है कि people who are like, she's a hardcore Dhoni fan, and
Oh,
suddenly
acha.
she's like, I'm feeling bad. And before that, she had a bet with me. He's not going to score. So I'm saying, no, bet now. And this was the previous game, and he didn't. So that's how aggressive our Desi fans, whether
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
our
yeah. Of course,
parents or
of course.
whoever. And suddenly she calls up and says, oh, I hope he just wins it. And then I get a message saying, I'm so glad. So you are seeing people who are critical of Virat Kohli finally saying, yaar, bichare, kuch to jeet le, and they're what? They're right up now. They've got 2 wins in spite of all the chaos that has happened
Yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I mean, from the super over, let me go all the way back to the beginning of the game before the
Yes,
toss. I
yes,
think RCB
yeah,
finally got their selection right. To some
totally.
extent, there's some still room for improvement, and we have talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
But they
yeah,
dropped Felipe. They made AB keep wickets. I think
yeah,
AB was not very keen to keep wickets at the starting
yeah.
of the
He
season, and
wasn't.
probably somebody
No,
had a chat with AB and said, "Okay, we
sure.
need you to do this." And
Yeah,
AB keeping wickets immediately gives this team so much balance, right? I mean, they
yeah,
could bring in Zampa, they could bring in Udana, although he wasn't as effective on the day. But who knows?
yeah.
Dale Steyn might have given even more runs because Udana at least has that variation that can,
And I guess the surprise element. Everyone's saying, "यार ये Sri Lankan IPL में कहाँ से आ गया?" It's okay. That's a
yeah,
nasty one, but it really is. It's good to see that there are. I mean, there was a time there were more Lankans in the tournament, and the fact that there's only one just now really says something about it, you know.
Yeah. No, but he is a good death bowler actually, and
Yeah,
he has. I mean, so to be a good death bowler in today's cricket, you need more than one variation. You cannot go for 6 out of 6 Yorkers. Most people don't have that, but Saini
yeah,
does have that. He's that old-fashioned Darren Goff, like he'll just bowl the Yorkers. He does
sure,
bowl an off-pace delivery, but it will be most likely just one off-pace delivery. You
yeah,
remember there was a time when Unadkat was considered a good death bowler because he
right,
had that slow delivery. But now you cannot just have one variation. You need to have two or three variations.
sure,
So just one Yorker. So Udana has more than one variations for the death, but didn't work today. Maybe in some other games. And it's hard bowling
yeah,
against Pollard and Ishan and I mean these things. Even the best bowlers will go for few runs. That's why I
yeah,
said that extra pace of somebody like Saini, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's one thing hitting a bowler who is bowling at 130 and accurate Yorkers because you can still
yeah,
lap them. Try, attempting a few shots. Obviously, people do it. Brendan
yeah,
McCullum hit that lap shot against
yeah,
Sean Tate, 100 miles per
yeah,
hour.
yeah.
But very few batsmen would be as brave as Brendan McCullum to just do this against Saini. So I would be keen to watch Saini in years to come.
Yeah, McCullum would do it blindfolded also. I don't think it would affect him. So to compare McCullum to anyone,
Yeah.
the selections got closer to what will take RCB further. You
Yes.
can see it that they started the tournament with baggage, and for whatever reason, because uh, it's everything out there, whether it's the stats, whether it is age, retirement, fitness, that pointed against both Stain and Umesh not being in the opening 11. But it was almost as if there was a bit of charity that they went with whatever they felt. You know, you're hoping that,
Yeah.
okay, these are the guys I want to have around, and what a captain often goes with, which is a bit of a shortcoming, really, to give in for such misgivings, really. Because even on the outside, there's no reason to have had either Umesh or Stain in the 11.
Yeah.
The other thing which I found pretty cool, which backfired, of course, was that Kohli went with three spinners, three full, I mean, they're not part-time spinners, which is something I think over the years that he's been fairly conflicted about, because Kohli's a guy who likes to go with pace, whether it is with India or RCB. He wants to, I guess, in tricky moments, he will push ahead with pace. Today, of course, he took it, I guess, a little too far. You know, where he was bowling both the leggies pretty much 17th, 18th over. It's like that we are not going to sacrifice everything by the 12th over, by the 13th, even the 15th.
Yeah.
So even with MI, the surge really happened very late, but because it was, I guess, with such surety, it was like a sledgehammer that came down. And now, it really, I mean, we've seen the last three MI games. What kind of thinking for whatever charity that they're doing, and
Yeah. Yeah.
will keep Ishan Kishan out and play Saurav Tiwari. It's I Ishan Kishan has been around. He's been fairly dramatic for a few years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that they kept him out for a few games, and
Yeah. And
they
we
said,
were all
okay,
surprised when he was not picked, but
yeah,
I heard that he was carrying an injury, so that's probably the reason he did not play because
sure,
I think he's
they,
one of their gun players. I mean,
yeah,
I say it without a doubt. And
yeah,
the thing I like, and I've always liked about Ishan Kishan, and I like this in some players, Mayank included, that
yeah,
they will play according to the situation of the game. You
yeah,
see a lot of Indian batsmen.
yeah,
I would count Shreyas Iyer in that category, that he would not really go ballistic when the team needs him to. And Ishan Kishan wouldn't mind losing its wicket. I mean, you
yeah,
need those cricketers because
yeah,
you may fire in once in 3 innings. You don't have
yeah,
to be consistent.
yeah,
One
yeah,
day you will come off, one day
yeah.
you won't, but you need to go basically. And Ishan is
Today,
one such kid.
today was special. I mean, today's innings, he took it. What? He just took it there, man. It
Yeah.
was there. I mean, but it's almost like saying Tewatia didn't win it, but he did. I mean, our say what we saw with Mayank also, in his, they were exceptional T20 innings that Oh, I think some device just suddenly shot up. I thought there was someone in the room. Yeah.
Okay.
So are there
No,
any?
so yeah, I'll take a couple of questions. So,
Yeah.
one question, the last one I got from Satish, asking, should RCB continue with Zampa? I will take that one actually, because
Sure.
I want to get Moin in. I want Moin in the IPL. He
Okay.
brings a lot of options.
Okay.
He can bowl a few overs. I think he should be playing at some point, and I don't
Okay.
think RCB is missing a leg spinner. They have Yuzi.
Okay.
I think Washington Sundar gives a good, and this is something they should have been doing all through the IPL. I think we'll see a lot of it. Washington Sundar is a good option in the beginning in the power play basically.
Yeah.
So I think they might persist with Zampa in a couple more games. I think they won't pick Zampa in Sharjah. I think it
Sure.
was a good pick for today because it is in
Yeah.
Dubai, and
Yeah.
in fact he picked a wicket actually caught at the
Yeah.
boundary. So
Yeah.
you were expecting those sort of dismissals today. I think he will be on and off, and I think Moin will come in as a replacement for Zampa, purely
Yeah.
because I like to watch Moin bat. I think he has a lot of
Sure.
class.
Sure.
So
Sure. So I do like Zampa in the mix. It's just that he shouldn't be bowling so late. Uh,
yeah,
you
definitely
have to,
that.
yeah. It was amazingly brave of Kohli to do it, which itself is quite cool that he decided to. So this is another facet. I guess he's maybe shed a certain skin of his where he is paranoid about spinners.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is like keeping a different faith for Virat, really.
yeah,
But Moin again, I won't want to see him opening.
yeah,
If uh, they do, I don't rate his spin much. The batting can come or not. He's another guy. You get a quick in, you bowl short to him, he just gets found out. But the whole deal is he can smash spinners, I
yeah,
guess, as
exactly.
good as
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah, yeah,
He is, I guess, in a place like Sharjah, he could be brutal.
yeah,
So they will have to, I guess, figure out because uh, prior to this game, they didn't utilize Washington Sundar at all. I mean,
yeah,
he barely bowled maybe a solitary over
yeah,
in a game or
exactly.
something. And again, it was a matchup that you see, QDK, and you say, get the guy in, and it was great. They bowled him 3 overs up front.
Yep, yep,
They pretty much killed the game there.
yeah,
The fact that MI could come back shows the, I guess, the lacks in RCB
yeah,
because there are lacks. I mean, they should have killed this game, but again, I guess everyone realizes that a team like MI is possibly the strongest team in the competition and has been for a very long time, and they've kept that continuity and consistency.
yeah, yeah,
So, if it had gone into another super over, and you cannot repeat the same batsmen or bowlers
yeah, yeah,
apparently.
yeah, yeah. You
So
cannot.
MI would have had another wave. RCB, I do not know whether they would have had another wave after that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, because AB out there was their ticket. Once you saw, I guess it's like the other day when we saw Rabada
yes,
bowling
yes,
the super over. I I think everyone knows this game is
yeah,
done. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's that.
Yes, I'll take another question. Does this take RCB's game one level up, and especially Kohli? So you want to take that? Does
Yeah,
this take
sure.
RCB's game one
Yeah,
level up?
yeah. It definitely does. As SMG would say, a win is a win. I mean, for some things you've gotta, because this would have really messed them if they had lost this.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, they are a defeatist side as they are. I don't think losing this has affected MI. You can just see what the MI dugout is, even when they were way below par.
yeah,
They
yeah,
seem very chill.
yeah,
So we're talking about a champion side versus a side that has a lot of doubt.
yeah,
Uh, I think Virat Kohli is already doing better by trusting spinners. I will keep going back to that because I think it's a huge leap of faith and a change in Virat's mindset,
yeah,
which is his insecurity with maybe too much spin. And today, he, I think, pushed himself also beyond himself. I'm sure he would have surprised himself. Uh, Virat's game, how it moves ahead or not, uh, we've seen it often enough with guys like Rohit, Watson. It'll come whenever it does.
yeah, yeah,
I know for now that the key gun India players whether they come off in the IPL or not, does not give them sleepless nights. It shouldn't. We're talking about guys like Virat and Rohit who can actually be sitting out of games, but they can't because of the demands of what I guess the tournament is, because they
Yeah.
have to be playing there. You've maxed out, you've done everything, and then you're saying, okay, you're playing the IPL. So they will suddenly come and but he is definitely yeah, he's got a bit of a shrug and saying, "Yaar, kya ho raha hai?"
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got that. He's not himself at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. So I mean, over the years, you have seen RCB lose a lot of close games, and you see this with teams, New Zealand, and a lot of teams. Once you start losing close games, it becomes a habit. So
Yeah,
once you win a close game, again that can lift the curse sort of. So it is possible,
yeah,
and IPL, a lot of games are going to run very close. You have
yeah,
heard Kohli say over and over again in a lot of presentations that we lost a lot of close games we should have won
yeah,
last few IPLs. So if they start winning close games, you never know. And if they
yeah.
pick their batting order right and their selection right, so
They have to
yeah,
sort the selection because
yeah,
they've been messed up. They've been idiotic about it. I don't think they rival Delhi when it comes to the selections.
yeah, yeah,
It's these are foolish teams because Rajasthan, you can see, or even Hyderabad with the
yeah.
limited resources, how they're able to say, okay, we'll try and do what we
Yeah,
have to.
yeah. No, so another point I was making earlier in the day is about batting order and selection being probably
Yeah,
the difference when teams are so closely matched. It has always been actually, but with teams, doing so much more analytics and trying to figure out every possible weakness in every possible player, this is
yeah,
going to be all the more important. Like teams who are going to miss out on, say, I mean, I was telling you the other day, right? Dhoni cannot open with Faf, Watson,
mm,
and Vijay anymore. It's not
mm,
the playbook you want to follow anymore in a T20 game where
mm,
players are going ballistic basically,
mm,
right? You cannot lose so much momentum at the starting of the innings. So
mm,
teams who are going to struggle with their batting order. We talked about Shreyas not coming at the right number the other day, even though they won that game, DC
mm.
versus, because Shreyas should not have come ahead of Stoinis, who scored
Yeah,
big runs in the previous game, right?
yeah.
If you don't get that batting order right, it's going to hurt you at some point. So,
Yeah, exactly. Or you
it,
wonder even about you know Sam not coming in.
yeah,
Uh, he should have just you have to look at what I guess the previous form is and just say, okay, go with it, man.
yeah, yeah. Somebody
Yeah,
said you should award Tewati of the match for each match. From now, we are actually doing that. We awarded
yeah,
it to Kohli today.
yeah. So yeah, so
It's
he's the Tewatia of the match, and uh,
so what there's another segment that we wanted to do, right? I
yeah,
wanted to do what would
yeah.
Tewatia have done. Pick a player who you think didn't live up to the Tewatia standards of sportsmanship and missed an opportunity. Who would it be?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
to
No,
be wondered about.
I would pick Bumrah actually. I think he should not
Yeah,
have. So a couple of things. I think he one was he bounced AB de Villiers without having the fine leg back.
yeah.
That
That was
would have been
foolish.
caught,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That
So,
was the
so
game. That was the
because
game.
because Bumrah also had a difficult beginning against AB de Villiers in the first inning. He had a
Yeah,
chance of redemption. AB de
yeah,
Villiers smashed him all over the place. He had a
mm,
chance of redemption against AB de Villiers
yeah,
if that was caught. That top edge was, because he actually to get two bouncers right against a player of AB's quality takes some doing, and he did that actually
yeah. So
because
they
he
were
missed
fast.
both. They were
They
fast,
didn't.
accurate,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if that was caught, I think MI would have sealed it easily.
Exactly.
Whoever was there at
Yeah.
the other end.
So benefit of doubt to Bumrah and MI was that they thought that someone with the AB's abilities, and it's really, I think that's where they're flawed, was going to sky it.
Yeah, yeah,
Or, it was going to be short fine leg because they had a short third man. No,
yeah,
short fine leg. So they had a short fine leg
yeah, yeah.
and it was going there. But
I
if you
mean,
look at his
Bumrah
bat
pace,
speed,
the top edges are going to fly basically,
yeah,
right? So
and no, and not just that, but looking at De Villiers' top edge and his bat speed,
yeah,
you'd think it would go further. So that I would say go with two fine legs if
yeah,
that is your strategy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, but at this point of day, the fact that they got this game through, I think by this point everyone would have been wonked out here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, today was extremely draining.
yeah,
I think both playing was, but viewership itself was very intense.
yeah, yeah.
It I think it went one up on Tewatia also.
It
I mean,
did
if
because
that is
the whole game was pretty intense actually.
yeah, yeah,
The ebbs and flows were
yeah, yeah,
more intense compared to
yeah.
last night, I think.
Yeah, because yesterday you didn't give
Yeah,
RR a chance. Here you knew that this was a dogfight, really.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
it was dirty. Yeah,
Yeah, and the other thing is this wasn't Sharjah basically. So I
yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking that okay, if this was Sharjah, Pollard and Ishan would finish it. But this is
yeah.
the largest boundary in this IPL. Dubai is the largest boundary,
Yes,
and they still
yeah,
could tie the game basically,
yeah.
which is a big thing actually. 3 over
It,
60 runs, you
no,
won't back them.
it's huge.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
huge because I guess on a Lara was categorical, and
yeah,
I've
yeah,
said before also when Lara says something, it's great to, and he didn't expect MI to go this close
yeah,
because
yeah.
we,
I
you
didn't.
know, again the grounds, and that is why the hitting of Ishan Kishan is stupendous
Yeah, yeah,
because you're talking about so much backlog. I mean, Washington Sundar had basically killed the game.
yeah,
And, you know, for them to come back after this, so which is why I think we're getting into maybe 3 games within 20 overs now. You know, the ebbs and flows, as you said, are just going to just keep going on. You know, you won't know when things will just change because it's changing in an over.
yeah.
That, you know, that passage has become within, I guess, death overs also. I think it's been broken down into, you know, mini parts. So
Yes.
it's like yeah, it's. I think we're seeing a bit of T20 being redefined in a way. You know, where people will say, okay, 36 of the last over, kar sakte hain. And it'll happen.
Yeah.
I think there was a very interesting tweet where this guy said that every ball we have to hit a six. That is where the mindset is.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying it in the
Yeah,
morning actually. The opportunity
yeah,
cost of not hitting a six is huge now.
yeah,
And I was saying
yeah,
this about yesterday's match. If you want to
yeah,
nitpick on Punjab's approach,
yeah,
they could have
yeah,
hit more sixes. So Punjab hit
yeah.
11 sixes yesterday, Rajasthan hit 18 sixes.
Exactly, and
A
that's
lot of
again,
these T20 games on good pitches will be a showdown of six hitting.
yeah,
If you
and not
are
those
able to,
ones and twos.
no,
Yeah,
no, no, it doesn't matter. I mean,
yeah,
you might place the ball, and I said that, right? We were gushing over that. My moment of truth was that semi-final I was talking about yesterday, 2016. We were gushing over how brilliantly Dhoni and Kohli are running, but it doesn't
yeah,
matter anymore. Basically,
yeah, yeah.
you
So
have to
it's
hit sixes
yeah, just smash them, and that's where
from
I
both
think
ends.
yeah, teams have to decide. Okay, you have two guys who might, if you have a collapse, hold it, but the rest of them have to be
Yeah,
ready
yeah,
to, you know,
yeah.
pay that opportunity
So,
cost, the
yeah, so
cash.
I was also saying in the morning, right? The mold I want to see some team adopting is the Ranatunga mold of 1996. So everyone
Mm,
talks about Kalu Vitharna and Jayasurya opening the batting,
sure,
but what
sure.
I always talk about from that batting lineup is Roshan Mahanama batting at number 7. Right,
Yeah, yeah,
we have before that always seen Roshan Mahanama opening the batting, and he was one
yeah,
of their best batsmen. But he was a
yeah,
technically correct batsman. He was not an
yeah,
attacking batsman. They kept him
yeah,
at number 7 as an insurance policy,
yeah, yeah,
right? Not many teams do that. I mean, so if you want an insurance policy, keep him somewhere in the middle order. Don't just start with anchors. I mean, go
yeah,
ballistic, take that chance.
yeah,
If you're especially if
yeah,
you're batting first, because you
yeah,
don't know what total is safe, right?
yeah,
200 not safe, 220 may not be safe. Go for that
yeah.
250 target if
I
you
I
can.
think yeah, I think I'm just thinking about MI now. Will they revisit the QDK opening now? Because today he was unraveled. He
Yeah,
just and now everyone will get the offie and say, okay, you know, why not?
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
this guy, they might have offies on both sides. You know, whatever. It gets a little crazy like that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
should we wrap?
yeah, yeah. We can,
There are no
unless.
questions, right? Yeah. So we can wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, I am not able to watch questions on Twitter. There may be a few, but yeah, I
Okay.
think we are
I can
good for
check.
the day.
Yeah. Otherwise, I can check. Uh, no, they aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good game again.
Okay. Yeah. We're done then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hail Tewatia.
Hail Tewatia.
I went back and listened to. I'll tell you a small story since we are talking about Tewatia. Somebody said he's not from Haryana, he's from Rajasthan, but I'm just going to go with Haryana because he plays for Haryana. I was
Yeah,
telling you about
exactly.
Sapna Chaudhary yesterday, right?
Yeah,
And-
yeah,
and-
exactly.
so I Googled after that, and I was trying to remember what Sapna Chaudhary song I was trying to recall.
Okay.
So this is a
Okay.
small story from Noida. I
Ah.
used to travel to Noida a bit for work,
Yeah,
and I was sitting
yeah.
with a friend of mine in GIP Mall, Noida,
Yeah, yeah.
having coffee in the food court. And
Yeah.
I just heard somebody, it wasn't Sapna Chaudhary, by the way. There were some other performers who had come. And as soon as the song, okay, I forgot the name of the song, but it was a Sapna Chaudhary song.
Okay.
And people went ballistic actually. So I
Yeah.
asked somebody, कि ये किसका गाना है भाई? And people said कि ये Sapna Chaudhary का गाना है. And so, yeah, so
That's
that's
scary.
that's a Sapna Chaudhary legend.
Yeah.
तेरी आँख्या का यो काजल. That is the name of the song.
Should we play it on the next chat we
Yeah,
have?
hopefully there won't be any copyright infringement.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
want any strikes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so
we can approach and ask them if
yeah.
it's okay.
Or maybe
because-
that should be the theme song of this show basically. तेरी आँख्या का
Also-
यो काजल. Yo काजल.
there's no reason it shouldn't be, but let's speak to them and say like there is a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And
हरियाणा के लिए कर दो यार. हरियाणा के लिए कर दो.
and for Tewatia.
For Tewatia, yeah. See you then. See you.
See you, man. Good
Yeah.
night. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Okay, I have to do this extra work to stop the stream today because it's running in two places. So we are still live.
Okay.
Yeah, don't say